finally back, and with me of course is the triple efficiency Nether tunnel bore. Only took me about 7 months to finally take another look at this thing and fix it. So the problem the original one had was that when the TNT would get launched, it would sit right on the edge of this block with about 3 pixels of overlap, which apparently wasn't quite far enough forward, and it would sometimes not blow enough netherrack up, so that then the next time it fired, there would be a netherrack block right there, stopping the TNT and then blowing up part of the nose. Versus now with the new nose design here, we end up with just 1 pixel of overlap. So just 2 pixels is the difference between enough and not enough there, which is kind of crazy. Other than that though, the back end of the machine hasn't changed very much. Now I have done a few more things since recording the B-roll footage to refine this. The first one being that the chest here was here, and now we moved it to here, so that if you want to swap this out with a target block, it's in a much better location, so that if you're closer to the front end here when mining, you can much more easily hit that with something than if it were right here. And other than that, it's just made one small change over here to make it a little bit cheaper, so that it actually offset the cost increase of this. So now while we're here, I figured I might as well show you some of the cool stuff I've been building while I haven't been making videos. You see, got some big things going on over there, which we'll get to in a minute. The first one being right here. This is the missile for the missile silo, which I've only done a short on this before. I've been convinced to do this video at 500 subscribers now, and I've made some improvements to the missile now, which are hiding in the obsidian. So if you want to see those, make sure you subscribe, and then at 500 subscribers I'll do a tutorial on the missile silo. Now, I've also been working on some other missiles and bombers that are meant to be resistant to chunk unloading and then reloading. And I might have even down here come up with one that is completely chunk reloading proof. It's kind of a little bit bigger and ugly on the back end, but it might be guaranteed to hit your target no matter what. I do gotta still test this though. If we come over here now, I have of course built another staircase. This one here being a continuous staircase that, as far as I'm aware, sets the record now for the smallest continuous hidden staircase. This being just 3 blocks tall by 4 by 7 for a total of 84 blocks. And then lastly, these monstrosities over here. Lately, maze generators have been going popular on YouTube for Java Edition, and so I started building some in bedrock. So we've got the Hilbert's look ahead method, if you know what that is, over here, and the origin shift over here. I've been working on getting them smaller. I've actually got a smaller version of this now that's only 5 blocks wide per cell instead of 6. I've been doing a lot of work with different sized doors and things, and different shaped mazes you can do depending on what your simulation distance is. So that's all to come in the future, so if you want to see that, let me know, and I'll try and get to things you want to see first. Alrighty, now with that out of the way, it's time to build this thing. Now I'm going to be building a very bare bones version like what you see right here. No bells and whistles added. Just simply one that works. Now if you want, you can do a lot of custom stuff to this. First of all, the orange concrete, that's your block of choice. You can really swap that out with anything. Even right here, you could have glass right here and it's not going to blow up. Or even slime blocks. Slime blocks actually have an even lower blast resistance than glass. They survive there. I've tested this. So you could build your whole nose out of slime if you wanted. Nothing's going to blow up. Now you probably want to put some lights in there, so you can do that. Anywhere you see orange concrete on this build, you can swap those blocks out with just about anything. Your only limits are going to be no honey blocks, no immovable blocks, and no glazed terracotta. In some places it would be okay to use some of those blocks, but it's easier to just outlaw them. And then the other thing is, this block right next to the ancient debris here, this does have to be a full block. If you were to take one of these half slabs and put it right here, the TNT is going to hit the side of the ancient debris and just stick here and blow up your nose. So you do need a full block there so it can slide across to the edge. Other than that, I also wouldn't use anything like fences, or at least not closed fence gates, just to be safe. I haven't tested those. Here's all the resources you're going to need. You can, of course, swap out the trap chest for a target block. And then, of course, you can also even do both if you want, like this. I also didn't mention, these here are completely optional, and these don't have to be slabs. They can be any block of choice as well. These are simply just to align the TNT to be perfectly in the center, but they're not required at all. So to create an area that can fit this thing, you're going to need a space that is 22 blocks long, 6 blocks wide, and 5 blocks tall. Then once you've got that, you're good to start building, and we're going to start right here at this spot. So right in a diagonal from the corner, we're going to go 2 blocks in, and then on this third block, we're going to place an observer that's facing up. So we should have 2 blocks of space from the left wall and 2 blocks of space from the back wall. And we are, of course, going to be building heading in that direction. From here, we'll take a block of choice, we'll place our chest here. The orientation of that's not going to matter at all. We'll place a sticky piston on top of it that's facing the rear. That is going to be going into a slime block. On top of this, we can place another sticky piston facing the rear and a regular piston facing the front. A slime block there for that to interact with. Then we can come back here, another slime block, an observer on top of it going forward into a piston. Now coming up front, we're going to place 2 blocks of choice on the back side of that sticky piston, an observer in front of that, going into a slime block, a piston in front of that, and then our dispenser there like that, facing up. From here, we're going to place a temporary block here with a block of choice in front of it, an observer facing forward, a regular piston facing forward, and then on top of this dispenser, a slime block. Now coming out here, we're going to place a temporary block, and then a block of choice, and then 7 more. So we should have 8 in total here. And then our ancient debris right on the nose. And if your room is sized right, you should have 2 blocks of space here in front of the nose. So now coming back to this side here, we're going to do a block of choice here, slime block, another block of choice, and then our redstone block there. Place another slime block here, block of choice there. Here we're going to place a piston facing forward next to that slime block, an observer facing forward on top of it, with a slime block in front of it. We're next to this, we're going to place a block of choice, an observer facing up, and if you want, you actually could swap those. It's not going to matter which way those are facing. We're going to place a slime block on top of that, a rearward facing sticky piston, 1 more slime block there and there, and then lastly we're going to place a block of choice right here and here, a temporary block right there, and we're going to pull out our hopper and make sure it's going into this temporary block. We can break that and we are done. So now we can load in our TNT into the hopper. Do not load it into the dropper. You won't break anything, but you're not going to get that efficiency. And if we test it, as you can see, we have launched a piece of TNT, and to double check, there should be nothing in here now, and all of our TNT should still be in there. So now we're going to have twice now where we trigger it and nothing happens, and then on this third trigger, we fire again. Also, one quick thing I forgot to mention when recording that part of the video is if you're building this in the Nether to mine for ancient debris, I would recommend building it so that when standing on your floor, your Y coordinate is at +8. That way you're not going to get too much bedrock in your floor, and you won't bust through any of the lava pools that are above you. So now I'm going to go over how this works, kind of. So if you want to stick around, I appreciate it. Hopefully I can explain this well enough that you understand what's going on here. But basically this is actually not a single flying machine. This is actually two flying machines, with this thing here being a secondary smaller flying machine that is kind of controlled by the main machine. So as you can see, this is in the stop state right now. And the reason it stops here is because of this redstone block. You see this this piston gets powered by that, which causes this machine to no longer be able to function since it needs this to move forward. And that's how we get it to stop every time. And then so as this moves forward now, you'll see that redstone block moves forward. So now this is not being powered. We'll move it forward once more. Our redstone block has moved forward again, and now this piston is right next to this slime block, which means the slime block is going to grab a hold of it now. And so when we move the main part of the machine forward again, this piston is going to move forward back into place underneath this slime block where it's supposed to be. This block here is going to get pulled forward and trigger this observer, which is then going to jump start the smaller flying machine here. And now because this thing flies separately and we have our TNT in here, every third shot, our dispenser gets momentarily lined up with the hopper, which is just enough time for a single piece of TNT to get loaded into the dispenser. And then this flies off so that it can't load a second one, and that's how we get our triple efficiency. And then of course we got some extra pistons in here to delay the movement of this slime block moving forward so that this moves forward first. Then our TNT gets loaded, this gets out of the way, and then this slime block moves forward, launching our TNT right onto the nose. Well, that's all I got for you today. So if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more like this, please consider hitting both that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.